Would it be better to rent or buy a suit? You don't want to rent a fursuit, right? That's something you want to save up and buy and it's yours. Oh no, I didn't turn the light off. I like to stream in the dark. Can't believe I have to wait months for Life is Strange. Isn't it just March? It's almost the end of January already. I can confirm it is my birthday today. 27. 27 is a good age. Happy birthday! You only have 3 more years of being a music hipster until you realize it's cringe and you're not a hipster anymore. I hope you enjoy them. It's probably the best part of your life. Once you hit 30, you're like, God damn it, I can't do this anymore. Potentially a dumb or silly question, but any advice on how one can get over the fear of sleep? What specifically are you afraid of? Are you afraid of nightmares? Are you afraid of like not waking up again? Are you like having like sleep apnea problems that you're not breathing very well? Like what is it about sleep that's scaring you? I used to be really afraid of sleep because of I had a lot of night terrors and nightmares and everything. I've said it many times on the show before, I have narcolepsy, a very serious sleep disorder. Sometimes I can dream even while I'm awake. That's what narcolepsy, one of the symptoms of narcolepsy or the quirks of narcolepsy is. In my 20s, I don't know how I did it, but in my 20s I just kind of developed a sort of like Inception style like safeguard system that whenever I feel like I'm in a nightmare, I just wake myself up. Like I just learned how to like ripcord, pull the emergency switch out of that. And over the years, like maybe 20 years since then, it's not completely foolproof. Like sometimes it doesn't work, but most of the times it does. Most of the time, and that's enough that I'm just kind of like whatever. I've also like become desensitized to a lot of dreams and nightmares now, but as I'm getting older, I'm noticing that I'm sleepwalking a lot more. But it could just be that I'm not used to living alone in the apartment, and that's just kind of messing with me a little bit. Maybe in the past I would sleepwalk and I would just like see someone else in the house and then just be like, oh okay, I can go back to sleep. But yeah, I don't know. Kicking the bucket / not waking up, slow heart rate, and knowing I'm going to be unconscious. What about that scares you? Like sleep is a very natural thing. You should be used to going to sleep. Is there some sort of anxiety? Do you know someone that died in their sleep? Like, do you feel uncomfortable? Do you feel like sometimes like do you wake up with your heart racing? Because if you wake up with your heart racing and you're having an issue, or like your chest feels weird, it might be a sleep apnea problem. You might want to go get tested. Get a CPAP machine, or if you don't want to get a CPAP machine, you can do the whole like apple or walnut in the back of your sleeping shirt if you wear a shirt to sleep, so you don't sleep on your back. Losing weight can help with that too. Like, do you snore? Do you know if you snore? Question mark. So people who snore and have sleep problems, is that basically, now this is not the only way, but it is, from what I understand from talking to some doctors about it, because they thought I had this problem and it turned out I didn't, is that the most common way that sleep apnea presents itself is that if you sleep on your back and you are a bit overweight, so a bunch of the weight around your neck and your chest and your face can kind of like sit down and kind of close off your airways, because you're kind of getting squished together as you relax more into the bed, and it can close off your airways. That's what snoring is usually. Snoring is that your airway is obstructed, so whenever you're breathing, it's not smooth. It's actually like your throat is actually like vibrating and causing an opening for the air to get through properly. That's what snoring is usually, around the nose or around the esophagus. So if you're having problems sleeping or breathing during the night, sleeping on your side can almost like fix it entirely. But like, what happens if you roll onto your back? So like a hack that you can do is that you can like put pajamas on or whatever with like a tennis ball sewn into the back of your shirt, and then that means you can't roll onto your back because it'll be uncomfortable and wake you up. But some people it doesn't work for some people, so instead they wear a masked bed that forces their airways open, and it's a real pain in the ass. It's an awful thing to have to do, especially if you have trouble sleeping like I do. But like, you know, the alternative sometimes is that you'll fucking die. Losing weight can help too. You can die from sleep apnea. It's actually a fairly serious condition. Some people, there was a game reviewer that died from sleep apnea, wasn't there? One of the Giant Bomb crew, or am I getting them mixed up with someone else? Like it's not super common, but it's not unheard of either. Like, yeah, like it can just close off your airways, and you'll just die. You'll suffocate. You won't wake up. So yeah, if you do have anything in sleep apnea, like, you shouldn't freak out about it, but like, you should take it seriously. You should go get tested. Yeah. You can't die from holding your breath though, so I wonder, is there some sort of medication on top of that that's involved? Like, if you have sleep apnea and like you go to bed drunk or high, or some sort of pill, like prescription, that makes it so like you are kind of spaced out a little bit, you You can't. Yeah, you can try right now if you want. Try and hold your breath. Try to kill yourself by holding your breath right now. You can't. Like your body will override it eventually, and you'll just go like you can't do it. Like you shouldn't be able to do it while you're asleep either. Shit yourself. See, you can't do it.
Got it.
Is it impossible to stop your heart through some super advanced meditation? Evening, everyone. Isn't that bullshit? I know some martial artists that could explode hearts. I've also seen Kill Bill, yeah. Good movie.
Excuse for a father.
No, but if you get suspended upside down for long enough, your heart can give out from strain. Hey, when you're using the Sigma stretcher, remember that's why we put a warning on it. You know, make sure you take your lead first so you're fortified. But also, like, you don't stay on the Sigma stretcher for more than 45 minutes. Okay? You do your time in the morning, and that's it. And then you do another session later around, like, I think we worked it out. There was around 3 p.m. is when you need, your spine is compressed again. You want to be taller again? Like, yeah. What if I fall asleep? You're sleeping? Come on. Anyone who's a Sigma is not sleeping. Don't waste your time with that. I don't know if anyone needs to hear this, by the way, but like, hopefully this doesn't start any shit or whatever. But almost everyone on YouTube who is kind of like that health guru kind of thing that has like advice for you, like Andrew Huberman, that kind of thing. I have not encountered a single one of those so far that hasn't turned out to be a fucking charlatan, fucking grifter, asshole bullshit. Like, not a single one. That they might exist, I don't know. And say some fitness channels are good to follow. They have some good advice. I'm not saying that anyone who's giving you any advice on YouTube whatsoever is full of shit. But there's a specific kind of person that like the Hubermans of the world that seem to be like, you know, they know a little bit about everything. You know, like, oh, the science says, blah, blah, blah. Just all of them are completely full of shit. You can change your whole facial structure if you just start breathing through your nose, and you know, blue shift light things will change your life, and this one little habit you have is fucking killing you. They're just all full of fucking shit. All of them are full of shit. Please don't listen to them. And if you want to listen to them and make your own decisions, and that's great, that's fine, that's based actually, but for the love of God, don't give them money. And don't buy AG1. Thinking about Liver King. Liver King was... There's a joke in the Witcher 3 video about Liver King. Oh my god, fucking Liver King. No, I'm natty. I'm natty. I'm totally natty. Yeah, I'm natty. So natty. If I had a nickel for every time I thought I found a cool YouTube channel, and then 10 videos in or 10 months later it finds out there's secretly an alt-right psyop that supports fucking Trump and all that other shit, I would have 50 cents, which is too much money.
But there's just nothing out there anymore.
I thought you were fucking... Why shout out H-Bomber guy? How does that go from what?
I'm a jeweler by trade, you see, and I'm currently in search of a precious gem known as the Mermaid Tear. Have you ever heard of it?
I don't know much about jewelry, sorry.
Well then, let me tell you. I believe the tear to be located somewhere in this very town. I know I'm close, so very close.
Oh yeah, you're close?
This seems like more than just a business transaction for you.
Failed save. That was like Galadriel fucking trying to resist the ring. Every single time there's like something vaguely sexual on streams. Fucking monochrome in the background, fire flares up. You dare tempt me. I've done it. I've resisted. I am getting some big Final Fantasy 16 time skip vibes right now where, like, sure, time has passed, but it feels like nothing has happened in the interim. Thank you, that great peanut, for the bits. Low-key Kirkentological flow state. Low-key Kirk ontological flow state. Now let's add some niche and some D. Low Kirkentological chillo state. What is this bit? I don't know what this bit is. Hope you're doing well, Joe. All right, thank you, that great peanut. The LGBT community has forgiven Joseph Anderson for comparing near to Final Fantasy 16. He's on now. What does the LGBT have to do with this? LGBT? Yeah, you guys are still on the first one. I'm on the sequel. I'm straight ironically. Sorry. Alright, let's go to the fucking lighthouse. What game do you plan on playing after Nier? Glad you asked, Shatter. We are streaming the hit game Persona Midaphor. Midaphor Refantasio is next up on the docket. We're going to be starting it next week or the week after. No Stellar Blade Heart? I know, it's great, isn't it? Is Gatsby a weeb? Nah, too much of a Chad to be a weeb. Speaking of weeb, thank you. Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas for the 41 months. Hey Joe, long time VOD boy here. Unfortunately, haven't been able to keep us much since you returned from hiatus. Still not sure why you keep talking to your mouse. Surely your keyboard would have more to say. But still wanted to use my Prime for the Moncton Relocation Fund as thanks for all the laughs and for being formative in helping me analyze, enjoy, and appreciate all art forms. All, even music? Oh man, chat's gonna be upset about that one. Cool. Thank you for the nice message. Almost Christmas. And thank you to Tavakel for the 9 months. I think it's an L, I don't think it's an I. My friend had to listen to a presentation about visual novels, and then the whole class started discussing with the professor whether VNs are video games or not. And I just thought, wow, that's just like watching a Joseph Anderson stream, except you get a degree for it. Why are people like, does it matter? Like, classifications are fun to talk about, but like having more than a passing conversation about it, just like, does it really matter? It is what it is. I remember when the internet like collectively lost their mind about the vanishing of Ethan Carter. No, Gone Home. It was Gone Home. When fucking they just lost their mind about Gone Home. It's not a fucking video game. It's okay. Like, is it? Isn't it? Like, who gives a shit? Like, does it really matter? It's definitely in the video game kind of area because it's interactive, so you can see where people are coming from, right? But you can also see that, okay, well, there's not, like, is there a fail state? I don't know, I have not played Gone Home. Maybe there's a soft fail state as you're trying to figure out the mystery or whatever. But like walking sims, like, who cares? They're not like better or lesser because of the like these tags. They must be in special boxes or I will scream. People do it to people too. People have to be in the boxes. Who are you and what have you done with Joseph Anderson? I've always had this stance. I think it's like having classifications are like, yeah, I can see the somewhat importance, just be like, okay, like we can put some tags on things, but like after like why fight about it? It's not worth a fight. Or if it is worth a fight, it's not worth like a heated fight, and some of those conversations got real fucking heated. So you hate uncategorizable things? Yes. I guess having it in a setting where you're in school, I think actually, you know, now I think about it, it's probably one of the best places to have that kind of conversation because it's probably going to stay civil, and it's like, okay, it's more of an intellectual conversation. But when you're having that kind of classification talk, like on a message board or on Twitter or, you know, via multiple like sideline fucking YouTube videos that are all fucking subtweeting each other, that's when it gets unproductive, I guess. It's just more culture war, fucking political bullshit. Still got the witch or not? No, I just have a regular ponytail right now. Whenever I get out of the shower, I just put my hair up while it's drying, and then I'll take it down. Actually, I can take it down right now. Or while I do, you could go get cut by a professional. If I go and get a cut by a professional, it's still gonna be long. You get it cut more. If I'm gonna go to a professional to get my hair cut really, really short, I might as well just like fucking take the clippers to it and do it myself. Whereas if I'm gonna go to a professional and get it cut, then I'm probably gonna be like, hey, I would like it to stay long, just, you know, style it a bit. So like, I have to decide if it's bothering me enough to like want to get rid of it, or if I want to just like commit to just keeping with longer hair. We want you to be handsome before you become decrepit. Gym hair laundry, my friend. I've never been handsome my whole entire life. Sorry, chatter. That ship has sailed. I think my ideal hair length would probably be about what Wifles is at. I think that my hair looks better when it can frame my face. I have a rounder face, so I think having my hair being able to frame my face is good. But when it's getting a little bit too long right now, I start to look like a metalhead, and I'm not a metalhead, so I can't you know. It's cultural appropriation at some point. Do you have straight wavy or curly hair? Mostly straight, maybe a little bit wavy now and then. I don't have curly hair. Have you dyed your hair? There was a time in my life where I dyed my hair blonde, as a joke, and it was terrible. It looked like a bird shit in my hair. I want to say I was like 17. This is ancient history. We've all been 17. Some people in chat aren't there yet. Was it back in the 1990s? Early 2000s. Is that back when the Berlin Wall collapsed? Wow. After I humor all your questions too. Wow, we leveled up. Nice. When I was 17, I was in peak slob mode, so shall remain in the past, but the classic hoodie and jeans was a uniform, and the My Little Pony t-shirt to spice things up. What's wrong with the hoodie and jeans? Classic look. Nothing's wrong with it. Folks say there's something wrong with it. The judge is fine. Like jeans are like, to me, where the conversation starts if you're gonna go outside and you want to look like not good but just respectable. Like going out with like sweatpants or like tracksuit pants on, unless you're going for a run or whatever. Like what are you doing? Whereas if like I won't judge you, but other people might. Whereas like jeans are like, okay, like you're going out and clearly you got yourself dressed like somewhat appropriately for going out. If that's not true anymore, then what is it? Where does it start? Jeans are the default as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I think so too. I have some nice pairs of sweatpants that I wear to the gym that sometimes I wear them out when I'm just taking the dog out real quick. But if I'm going anywhere longer, if I'm going to like the grocery store or I'm going shopping, I usually put a pair of jeans on. I hate jeans, so I just wear regular wedding pants. Like dress pants? Oh, damn. I should get a suit. I never had a properly fitted suit. I should get a suit. I think I'd look good in a suit. Would you stream in a suit? Birthday suit, maybe. Stream going to get fitted for a suit. So I've never had a suit fitted before. I brought my comfort chat with me. We're going to be live streaming the whole experience, just so you know you're going to be on camera. Is that okay? All right, sure, okay. Would you look like John Wick in a suit? Got the hair for it. My beard is too long for John Wick. I desperately need to trim my beard, actually. It's really bothering me. When I was sick, I just kind of went feral. Would it be better to rent or buy a suit? You don't want to rent a fursuit, right? That's something you want to save up and buy and it's yours. You don't want, like renting just sounds like no fun for anybody. Extra cheesy. Or do furries love Sonic? Yeah, that tracks, doesn't it? So fursuit good for a wedding? Depends on the wedding. But no reason at all. Happy birthday again to August. Happy birthday. Full fursuits are at least 1,000 USD, and that's dependent on maker. If I was a furry, what would I be? Dragon is scaly, right? So that doesn't count.
Hey, Emil. It's been a while.
Wolf is so
haven't aged a day.
cliche. Wolves are really cool, though. I have a dog that's pretty much a wolf, so do I get a pass? Would you rather wear a fursuit or a Sonic costume? Fursuit. No hesitation, fursuit. That's it? That's what they ruined?
What is the matter?
Kaine always sleeps outside. I never thought about that until just now. Never even occurred to me. Damn it.
We should turn in.
I'm just doing fucking like ambient camera movement. I just happened to go there. Sorry.
I didn't get much sleep that night.
What overly ostentatious title would you take as a title, i.e. Shadow Lord? I'm already Dragon Man, thanks to Merrick. Dragon Man. Dragon Daddy. For Madamsels only. Was actually at an event a week or two ago with Yokotar speaking it with the producer and composer for the New York games. Oh really? One of the best parts was he clearly did not want to talk about games he made and just wanted to riff about how much he loves drinking. What? So about Near Replicant, no. Let me tell you how to make the best vodka tonic. Here we go. It's just so much fun. I'm 3 sheets in the wind right now, actually. Here we go. Hi, I just saw your top 10 misogyny moments. Big fan. My what? What are you talking about? First time chatter? Oh, this is convenient. How does the canal go to the desert? Sure, whatever. Little known fact, all water in the world is connected. I have water in this flask right here. How is that connected to everything else? Checkmate, atheists. Now it's a Joe stream? No, that's later. I'm drinking it for now. Thank you, Light Path Vertex, for the 12 months. 1 year. Hi, Joe. Finally catching a stream live for once. Looking forward to the Midaphor streams. I enjoyed it despite the dog shit writing. Because I have very low standards for that in games. Smiley face. It generally does do a lot of your. I'd be curious to see a Persona game try X takes. I'll leave it to you to leave it to you whether it succeeds at it or not. Okay. Man, what is it about Atlas fans just fucking hating their games that they like? That's a good thing, I guess, being critical of their games, not all of them, though. I don't know, it kind of feels like ball and chain vibes. It's like abusive relationship with a game dev. And no one else is allowed to criticize them either, just them. There may be a world where you think Midaphor is honestly fine and people will argue it's worse. Like, maybe it's gonna be my favorite. Mouse, you're like the biggest Midaphor hater around. Is it better than all the Persona games still, or no? I think in some ways it's better than the Persona games, but in other ways it's worse. Also, if it's your favorite game, it'll be awesome for you because I never have to take an opinion from you seriously ever again. Hold on. Favorite game of those 4? Is it so bad that it being the best of Midaphor, Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5, like, that would be unacceptable? It's not better than Persona 5? It's a low bar, chatter. It's possible. Like, what if the combat's really good? I think spectacle-wise, it's probably the most entertaining of them, and the combat is good. See? We're in danger. Mechanically, it's better, but the story is over-ambitious and doesn't say as much. I'm sorry, did you just describe the story of a Persona game as over-ambitious? Also, they thought it was fun to release it right before the 2024 US election because there's no way the real-life populace would win. What the fuck does that mean?
There is nothing more filthy than your underwear, hussy.
Oh, what?
This? I don't wear the same one all the time. I have a different set for every day of the week.
Based.
And every night, I scrub them with soap and water. So you can bet your ass I'm cleaner than you.
My word.
It's hard to believe there are plants that can grow in this desert.
Yeah.
Writers barely disguise kink. What? Clean underwear? That's not a kink, chatter. That's just a basic expectation. You should have clean underwear on at all times. Oh, she's talking about breathing and drinking water. Fucking writers barely describe fetish. Wanting a girl that breathes and drinks water. Huh. You're not gonna get me on board with your kink. Oh, Joe has gone woke. For fuck's sake. Why do people here hate Midaphor anyway? I think it's mostly playing it. Apparently that does it. Is it too early to join the Rain World Crusade for today 2026? At this point, are you just all gonna win out of pity? You're just gonna feel bad? Like 3, 4, 5 years in a row of Rain World propaganda? Just be like, oh, okay, fine, we'll play it. Do people hate Midaphor? Most people don't understand it, I think. Yeah, I think that's where it's coming from. To be honest, this is the only community where I've seen a lot of hate for Midaphor, as in other places I've seen quite a lot of praise for it instead. A lot is 2 words. It's 2 words. How many days can a person wear the same clothes? Depends on what they are. I don't think you should wear anything that has like a lot of skin contact more than once, like more than 1 day in a row. Pants are kind of a gray area though, depends on how much you sweat or what you're doing in the pants. You shouldn't wear a shirt that has direct skin contact more than 1 day in a row, IMO. But if you don't sweat a lot or you're just sitting around, maybe you can pull it off, I don't know. I change my shirt every single day. Fresh underwear, fresh shirt every single day. Pants I can sometimes wear for 2 or 3 days depending on what kind of pants they are. How many weeks should you wear the same socks? A fresh pair of socks every single day or else you're gonna get athlete's foot. Socks are probably... Oh god, is it even more important to wear a fresh pair of socks than a fresh pair of underwear every day? Like maybe, I don't know, but like it's equally important, I think, at the very least. When did you last clean your headphones? Headband, by the way? Oh, I haven't done that in a while. I should definitely do that. Shit. I'm scared to ask, does anyone else not wear socks? What do you mean? There's nothing wrong with not wearing socks while you're home, but if you wear shoes, you should wear socks. Maybe sandals, it's fine? Depends, I guess. How often do you need to change skin? That happens normally every single day, which is why you want to do a fresh pair of clothes, because your skin is always shedding into your clothes. So yeah, new skin just happens automatically. Midaphor narrative is very bare bones and bad in places, but it beats Persona 5 for me. I thought it was overly ambitious. Persona 5's narrative is shit. Love that game, by the way. Made my streaming career. What has been Atlas's best writing moment? The fucking beginning with Justin Trudeau. And then it was all downhill from there. Jesus, what happened? You were loving Persona 5? Where the fuck is this coming from? Persona 5 is a pretty fun time for the life sim stuff, and it's funny, and Yusuke is really, really good. But like as a narrative, like the story is awful. I don't even remember much of it. Do we not remember the whole plot hole debacle? 10 out of 10 rage bait? No, it's not. The story of Persona 5 sucks. Midaphor is bad, but her boy Greg kind of saves it. That's true. It does have Greg going for it. I'm saying Midaphor might end up being the best one of the 4.
No time for
Okay,
advice.
let me
Gotta get to Yona.
extend an olive branch to the Atlas fans in the chat, okay? Maybe I'm just not remembering Persona 5 that much, and I've conflated too much of Persona 3 into my Persona life experience that I now think Persona 5 is worse than it actually is, okay? I remember it less. You know what I mean? Because Persona 3 was like really fucking bad when it comes to the main quest, to the main story. It was awful. Some of the characters in Persona 3 are pretty good, and it had some interesting moments, and it could have been really, really good, but it was really, really, like, poorly realized. There's nothing in Persona 4 or 5 that presents like Persona 3 where it feels like they actually forgot to put a scene into the game and just did a fade to black and said, fuck you instead. So, like, who knows? Maybe that has done a lot of damage to how I view the series in my head, and I'm remembering Persona 5 worse, okay? I'm like Solaris with Persona 5. Is anyone in chat gonna get that reference? Someone will. Sun's up, another day goes by. Look at the time flies. Do, 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 do. Would you ever play Persona 2? I think it would be interesting compared to the 3D games. Who already did that one? That was Waffles Chatupon. No, you're right. As someone who started from Persona 1, they get worse the more you play. Persona 5 is a great starting point because it's the only way you can enjoy it without realizing it's shit. Not saying Persona 1 is good, by the way. Experience there is based on battle participation. Uh-oh. Thank you, Nelson William, for the 30 months. Thank you very much. I feel like chat is like some people in chat are angry about the Midaphor thing. Her legs are ridiculous, huh? Holy shit. Some of the best legs in gaming. I'm sorry. Thank you, Nelson William. Thank you very much for 3 months. Thank you, Ace Spencer, for the 13 months as well. Added to the supercut. What, the appreciating women supercut? Oh, I'm hungry. God damn it. I was worried about this. I only had a little bit of chicken today. There's a streamer I want to convince to stream Steins Gate. What should I say to them? I think you should let money do the talking for you to the tune of $1 million USD. And that should probably convince pretty much anybody. How hungry, Joe? I'm super hungry. I'm hungry as a wolf. I'm not a furry yet. Chat is very active today. It's nice, yeah. It's because we stirred the hornet's nest with Midaphor, I guess. I don't get why people hate Midaphor. It's pretty fairly well-made entry of the Pathologic series. I don't get why people hate Midaphor. It's a pretty fairly well-made entry of the Pathologic series. Pathologic 2 was in that message. Do you see that Terraria's getting their next final ever update next week? I did, yeah. Finn's pretty excited. Finn loves Terraria. Core Keeper's getting an update too. Is that out already, actually? Chatter was a new Mineko fan, that's why he typed it twice. Okay. Sumari, he can't help it. Did you ever stream Deltarune when it fully comes out? I would say it's an amazing successor to Undertale. Successor, you say? So you would say that it comes in sequence after Undertale. Interesting way of saying that. Okay, yeah. We already streamed the first part. When it's all out, we'll stream the rest of it, yeah. No, they delayed the Core Keeper update until February? Oh, fuck no. I'm a month now, I'm February. Sorry. That was so fucking stupid. I don't have time to play Core Keeper anyway. This is porn game gameplay right now. Porn game gameplay. Push the blocks. How would you know that? By playing porn games. I'm a grown-up, I can do what I want. When will we get top 10 porn games? None of them. They all suck. Hate Joseph Anderson? Me too, buddy. I'm actually quite grateful that I didn't read the Witcher books until playing the games first, because if I had read the Witcher books before playing Witcher 3, I think I would have been absolutely fucking livid at the end of Witcher 3. I would have been so fucking mad. But the fact that I played the games first and I knew what was going to happen really softened that going backwards through it. I read the books during Witcher 3, it was mostly just weird, not gonna lie. Yeah, I think in the part that I already said that Witcher 3 is a game that is both enhanced and ruined by reading the books, right? I think that's in part 2, and that in part 2 was included in that video, right? Historians have written about this, but there's potential from fantasy games to explore historical concepts more thoroughly because it's not chained by the historical genre and the expectations people have of what a grounded story. background story is. What's disappointing is that too many fantasy settings don't take advantage of the risk of stereotypes and caricatures going back to the Tolkien era. Tolkien has done untold damage to fantasy, I agree, yeah. It's not his fault. What did he do? He just set the tone too firmly. What's a genre that had such a, like, classic fucking, like, genesis that it's like that they just can't get over it? Like maybe superhero stuff or something? Like, I don't know, like... I really love the fantasy books, the Far Street Trilogy by Robin Hobb. I speak about this quite often. They were my favorite fantasy series until I read the Witcher books. So one of the reasons why I love the Witcher books so much is because it is so different from Tolkien, even though it uses the same trimmings. Like Sapkowski loves the retelling, and a lot of the Witcher saga is basically deconstructing the Fellowship of the Ring a bit. There's even like a funny version where they're sitting around eating fish porridge, I think, or fish stew, that is kind of like the formula of Fellowship, and instead of it being this ostentatious like meeting of the different races and everything, it's just them going like, "Girl, you're a fucking idiot. Like, of course we're gonna help you," that sort of thing. It's interesting, but I'm still fucked off like 20 years later because I read an interview with Robin Hobb, and they're like, "What are your favorite fantasy books and what are your inspirations?" And she said, you know, Tolkien, obviously Lord of the Rings, you know, there it is, the perfect fantasy book. It's already been written. So like, to some extent, I don't know why I bother, or I always know I'm going to be like second rate or whatever. It was something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. I haven't read this article in fucking 20 years, and it made me so fucking angry because Robin Hobb is so much better than Tolkien in my opinion. And it's so much more character driven and make more sense. It was so much more enjoyable, and yet here she is like thinking Tolkien is the best that the genre can even be, because Lord of the Rings is so influential. Have you read George R. R. Martin books? I'm sure you have. I'm just curious. I have tried twice to read Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire, the first one, and I can't get through it. I do not like his writing style. It doesn't have the same problem of like the topic of the subject matter that Tolkien has and the like, but it does have the same problem of just like meandering over a bunch of fucking things and details and setting scenes that just does not matter. It's really irritating. Wheel of Time is like this too. Although Wheel of Time is a little bit better about it, it's a little bit more to the point. I dislike writing that spends, like let's say the scene is like 5,000 words. I dislike writing that the first half of those 5,000 words are just like drifting in from the ocean, where we have to describe what the trading fucking climate is like in the city while we go through the market and describe what's being sold in the market, and then we drift through a window and go into a restaurant scene, and we spend the next 1,000 words describing what's on the fucking table and what they're eating and what the currency is like in this town, and then finally we're gonna start talking about the fucking people that are talking about. Like, I don't like. I know some people do, and that's great. Like enjoy what you like. I don't. It's so fucking boring. I do not give a shit. That's how most books are. No. So the chat that said aren't all books like that? A lot of fantasy books are like that because of Tolkien. That's the problem we're talking about. So if you just read a lot of fantasy, then yeah. Sapkowski isn't like that, which is why the Witcher books are so refreshing. But then he kind of gets into that a little bit in the 5-part saga, which is why they're not as good as the first two. Okay, just so we know you're trolling, was Tolkien supposed to make his books worse on purpose? What do you mean? What are you talking about? The only thing I'm thinking of is that you like the way that Tolkien writes his books, and you like it that way, and that's great. If you like Tolkien's books, that's great. Like, what's wrong with that? I don't like the way that Tolkien writes his books. It's really, really boring and meandering to me. And I dislike that there's a huge genre staple now of a lot of people trying to write like Tolkien. Thankfully, I think as there's more contemporary fantasy being released, I think we're finally getting away from that. Not to say that it's absent in fantasy completely, but there's more people that are being more experimental. And there's a bunch of fantasy writers now that are writing more like sci-fi. Sci-fi has the opposite problem where it's a little too to the point. But yeah. Tolkien has done untold damage thingy? Yeah. Because a lot of people like ape him. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Do I have to do the subjectivity is implied prong? I'm speaking for myself. I'm only saying that it's done untold damage for me and my enjoyment and blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm not speaking objectively. Fucking hell. Joe Leary said it's not his fault. Yeah, I do remember saying that. Yeah, didn't I? Like, I don't think Tolkien knew what he was doing when he was writing those and thinking he was going to be so influential. And hey, a bunch of those books are really, really popular, so enough people like them. I just don't, unfortunately. You're mad at Tolkien writing books and people copying them? How is he supposed to dodge that exactly? I'm mad. Even The Hobbit. The Hobbit's actually pretty good. I like The Hobbit. I like The Hobbit way more than Lord of the Rings. I'm getting some big Persona fan vibes from Tolkien in the chat right now. Tolkien fans in the chat right now, sorry. Why is it that the fans of some of the most successful and influential media in the world are the most insecure? Shouldn't it be the opposite? Is it just that they're not used to having dissenting opinions, or is it just like they feel empowered because someone's going against consensus, so they feel like they can just hit back really hard? Like what is it there? I'm like genuinely asking. I'm curious because it's a repeatable phenomenon. Maybe it's just more defenders in general. Nah, it's not the quantity though. It's the quality. There's a certain kind of like fuming arrogance to the defenders of this sort of thing. Like, polite discussion stops very, very quickly. And it immediately gets into like a very common sort of discussion point that happens now that's more and more because of the political climate we're in, where it's about like what reality we're living in. And it's just clashing of realities where it's like, my reality doesn't match up to your reality, so therefore I must conclude that you're crazy. I jump to this conclusion sometimes too, and it's a bad habit of mine. But sometimes I'm right. I don't know if I'm right in this case though. They're just numerous and some of them are insecure. I don't think a bigger portion is. But why are they insecure? I don't get it. Like it's particularly with some of the most celebrated and unanimously agreed upon like successes. Like I find that, to bring it back to video games, maybe that's more palatable for the conversation. Like FromSoft is probably the most celebrated game company studio that's around right now, or at least it's definitely in the top 5 or top 10. And yet the fans of those games are the most insecure motherfuckers on the internet. It should be the opposite, right? If the studio that you love so much is constantly getting accolades and is being celebrated, game of the year, oh my god, like top reviews, selling well, everything like that, like you should feel more secure when someone says, oh, I don't like this. You'd be like, yeah, whatever, who cares? Yeah, Nintendo's a better one, yeah. People don't say, I don't like this, though. People say, this sucks. Yeah, but saying this sucks is just saying, I don't like this with different words. And if people don't understand that, they're just not ready to have conversations with other people. On this note, is Yeek better or worse than Gravity Rush? Yeek is worse than Gravity Rush. You finally got a win, Mayo. Is Yeek better than Forspoken? Ooh! No. Unironically, my bad. By Tolkien has done untold damage, I thought you ironically meant the writers copy Tolkien too much, but you meant it literally? Yeah, they do. I do mean it, yeah. For my tastes, there's too many fantasy writers have taken Tolkien as like the prototype to the fantasy story, and have just taken that as like a text from God, and have like, this is the template, this is what we should follow, and we should write like this. Yeah. In the same way that for a long time, like the preferred voice of a novel was like a stuffy noble person from England. You should speak like a prim and proper British person. And I say this as a British person. It's very irritating. Yeah. That's a bigger problem though than Tolkien, yeah. But hey, again, accounting for taste, a lot of people like this, and like my taste is not the most important one in the world. It's just the most important one to me. So I get to talk and complain. You're British? I am British. Yes. I was born in Wales in 1985. I've lived most of my life in Canada, though, so probably more Canadian than anything else. There's probably a similar thorough line in sci-fi books. I don't know where it would originate from, though, because I'm not that well versed in them. But sci-fi writers, like Vonnegut, like the Vonnegut type. What's the other book? Old Man's War, The Endless War. I can't remember what the book is called. Like a lot of these books are they're written in a very succinct, to the point style, to the point that a grand revelation or a scene setting might happen in just one sentence, and then they just boom right into dialogue, right into like very often you'll see like just a paragraph that is just like one or a couple lines long, that sort of thing. Forever War, that's it. Sorry, the Forever War. Like there's a similar kind of style that is perpetuating through sci-fi, and it just so happens that I actually quite like that style. But in another universe, there's a Joe talking here being like, I wish that sci-fi was written more like fantasy, and they took their time and they had more meandering and more saying in the scene, because I like that kind of vibe. It's just like what my tastes are. I do think that sci-fi books in general are sometimes a little bit too quick, and they could take a little bit more time with scene setting, but like, yeah, it is an issue. I've read sci-fi stories where they're doing like like military invasions on other planets, and like we get like maybe 3 fucking sentences of the troops dropping down onto the planet and getting outside. It's like I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's the tone here? Like, you could have so much more writing here of like the mood of the soldiers going down. Like how are they feeling about this? Any trepidation? Like what does the planet feel like? What does it look like? This sort of thing. And instead, I there's so much work that's like being imparted on me from the writer to be like, yeah, just make this up yourself. Good luck. And I'm like, oh, holy shit, this is too far in the other direction. So yeah, like maybe there is a writer that is as much to air quotes blame about sci-fi for that as Tolkien is about fantasy. I just don't know it. But Tolkien, I do know, and it's very obvious that fantasy is so influenced by him. So, you know, I get mad at it. Asimov or Dick? Philip K. Dick, maybe. Maybe Gibson? When did Gibson? Gibson was probably one of the worst I've ever seen when it came to just the lack of description, making a bunch of things that were going on in the scene just becoming impenetrable with Mona Lisa Overdrive. Maybe Neuromancer's better. I haven't tried reading Neuromancer, but Mona Lisa Overdrive was just like what? Gibson is one of Weeaboo Bill's favorite writers, so I remember saying to him afterwards, I'm like, is Mona Lisa Overdrive a sequel? Am I supposed to know about stuff? Is that why it's so difficult to follow? There's all these terms that are being dropped everywhere and shit. And he's like, no, Gibson's just like that. I'm like, oh, okay, I should probably give it another try then. Maybe it's not Gibson though. Pynchon was like that too, but Pynchon was like the worst of sci-fi and fantasy put together, with just like this just insanely long paragraphs with a huge amount of information, but also a lot of terminology being thrown at you that you just have to infer through it, which makes it really rewarding and really cool when you get the joke. I remember one point he was like making jokes about the references with parody names to like the Hardy Boys and Scooby-Doo and stuff like that, and I just happened to understand those references where there was a bunch of other ones in his work that I was like, I have no idea what this is referencing to right now. But I haven't started reading Pynchon since I was like in my early 20s, so maybe I would enjoy it more now now that I have more experience under my belt and just more culture in general. Mona Lisa Overdrive is the 3rd book in the Neuromancer trilogy. Yeah, but aren't they like, they're not linked together, are they? They're separate stories that are spiritual, maybe in the same world or something? Maybe Weeaboo Bill was wrong. Maybe I should have read Neuromancer first. I like the Douglas Adams tell don't show thing when it comes to sci-fi because doing an extended manufacturer info dump aside about why all the doors talk like ChatGPT is fun to me. Yeah, I haven't read Hitchhiker's Guide, but I have read Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, and I loved that book. That was a really cool book. I loved that book so much. That was fine, and I feel like that was, well, Douglas Adams also is really funny and very witty, so he can get away with this shit. I feel like he did do a lot of scene setting. I don't want explanations about how things work and everything like that. I just want mood setting in the text that is showing it, not telling it. And I feel like the point I'm trying to make here is that fantasy authors spend way too much time doing that, to the point that like before I'm even halfway done with the mood setting and everything, I'm like, I get it. Like we can move on. I get it. Whereas typical sci-fi writers don't do it enough. So it's like, I want something in the middle. I think Douglas Adams did it really, really well in Holistic Detective Agency as well, at least. Have you tried much Pratchett? No, I haven't read that much Pratchett. I've read Good Omens, and I read some of his books, Only You Can Save Mankind, If Not You, Who Else? I haven't read any Discworld or anything like that. Before this conversation, I've never considered that show don't tell can be applied to writing. Really? That's where it originates from. Wait. Does it not? Is it a theater term? The typical way that was described to me, that I've heard multiple times, so this is usually the go-to example, is that show don't tell is like, if you're gonna, don't tell me that the woman was crying hysterically and screaming, bring her out and let her scream. Is like just a perfect way to sum it up. However, there's a world, and this is why show don't tell is not the ubiquitous advice that you might think it is. There is a world for like or a room for like at the end of a scene, you just end with a character screamed, boom, period, go on to the next chapter. You know, there is room for that kind of telling, direct, like boom, that's the mood I want to have. Here we go, doom, next chapter, next scene, that sort of thing. Yeah, I've always assumed that it was about writing. I assume it was for movies because movies have visuals you can see and dialogue you can be told with. No, dialogue is like, movies are an interesting way of going with it because it's not the cleanest analog, but like imagine a movie just pausing, going to a black screen and just putting text on the screen and being like, and then this happened, and then you have to read it. That's kind of the failing that a lot of books have when they go to tell instead of show, and it's not clean because a movie wouldn't really actually do that, and books sometimes do want to do that. Actually, I would say that in general your book should probably be about 60% show and 40% tell. It's close to 50-50. Like, you sometimes want to set the scene and be like, hey, here's a paragraph of what the character did in the morning, so you know where the places are at in their life. You don't need to labor the point of going over like thousands of words being like, and then they got up and they got out of bed, and this is how they're feeling, and this is how the room felt, and then they went out, and then they brushed their teeth, and this is how they brush their teeth, and this is the insecurities they have about brushing teeth. Like, you don't have to do this shit. Sometimes you could just say they had a typical morning and they had a bagel for breakfast, boom, done, and then we just continue, right? And you know that where they are in the day, it's really, really easy. So yeah, you don't always want to show or don't tell. You just want to show when it's important. And sometimes writers undercut themselves because they don't know when it is important, and that's a skill that you have to develop as you're going through it. A similar analog would be, there's an argument that whenever a game switches over to a non-playable movie, that is not using the medium to its strength, and instead you should be like inferring this through gameplay, and the character and the player is always in control. But that's just not really realistic. You know, there's like there's only so many things that you can have and so many techniques you have that when characters are talking, that the player has any valuable inputs. Like sometimes characters are just gonna sit around talking and there's nothing you can do about it. The best go-to example of an attempt to make this interactive and it just makes the game fucking awful to replay is Half-Life 2. The amount of scenes that are just characters talking and, you know, no, we must have gameplay and the player must be in control all the time. So like here's a bunch of gadgets and shit that you can run around the room while all time passes. It's like, it's cool the first time, but the second time it's like, can you just give me a fucking skip button so I can just fucking go into the next room, please? Like it's really irritating. You want it to be 40-60, so it's like close to 50-50, can be taken from Echo? You think so? I think, you know, for me, like improvising some talk off the cuff of my head, I think it's fine.
You think about it while I
A little bit of tautology as a treat. Sorry, is my live ramblings being compared to like laboriously edited and fucking like I took all the time I needed in the world to write this out and fucking getting checked and everything in Umineko? Why am I held to the standard? What did I do? You told us you had objectively correct opinions. Man, did I? Fucking, I'm based. Holy shit. I'm gonna go on second break. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I feel like we've been yapping a lot. Yeah. Oh, sorry for my own insecurities right now. I don't think an objective opinion can exist because that's what opinion means. Do I wish that there could be? I don't know. Maybe. I think the world would be a lot less interesting. But like I don't think anything I said about like standards in art is objective and everyone should agree with me and blah 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 blah. Only that if everyone agreed to me, I would just have a happier life. Okay, that's it. I don't think that I'm objectively correct about anything I just said. Yeah, I don't know who needs to hear this at this point, but like so many people get fixated on this. I don't know why. I just speak in a way that I think almost everyone speaks in that I do not like put a bunch of qualifiers of like in my opinion, in my view, blah 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 blah, especially when I'm just talking improv like on stream. I try to add those statements now and then, like maybe like one for every like 10 paragraphs sort of is kind of like my benchmark as a reminder in videos, but I do it a lot less on stream. And then suddenly we get some pushback because some people don't understand that. And I don't know why. It's just like, you know this intuitively. Like, I don't get it. Is it trolling? Or I don't know. Or I just keep falling for the bait over and over and over again. I'm not sure. It's not your opinion unless you say otherwise. It's someone else's opinion? When you say turn-based combat is bad, is that an opinion or a statement? Opinion, obviously. Oh, there's an S at the end. I need to pee. It's a fact you don't understand? Huh? Are you trolling? Are you doing a bit? Anyway, I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Or maybe a little bit less. Be right back. Alright, to an extended olive branch and move on, I just want to say that Tolkien sucks and I'm glad he's dead. Let's go read a story. Joe said he's glad Tolkien is dead, but has never said he's glad Hitler is dead. Wait, so true? You think Hitler is dead? Do you think the moon is real too? Wow. Fucking sheeple in the chat. Thank you, Low Poly Zoe, for the bits. Joe, I strongly appreciate you don't put qualifiers on what you say because it shows you respect us as an audience to understand the qualifiers exist and we can apply those in our own heads. Like that your opinion is subjective and exceptions do exist. Yeah, I'm glad that some people appreciate it, but I don't know. It's a source of frustration for me because I actually don't know when people push back against it if they're being genuine or not. Because it's like learning basic math. I don't know, but like people generally are smart, so it's not an intelligence thing. It's something else. I just don't understand it. I don't know. Random follow-up. When studying physics, I struggle to reconcile the objectivity of science with the human nature of scientists. My position now is that even if there are objective laws of nature, we never really know them to be true and make objective statements about nature, purely because we're humans. For me, studying science is also an exercise in faith trust. Yeah, that's where it gets into philosophy. I do think objective truth exists. But if you get deeper into philosophy, you have to start questioning that. And I think it's interesting, but it's not really productive. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fun conversation topic and people can spend their whole lives like going back and forth on it. But like, to me, like once you get into the realm of like, I have a ruler and I can measure the length of something, you know, we all have something in mind. I can trust that that's objective. You know what I mean? If I have a thermometer and I can go outside and the thermometer gives me a reading of what the temperature is, I can trust that as objective. Now, if you get into philosophy, you can be like, well, do you really know that the world is real? Like, do you know that blah, 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 blah? Like, maybe you're just a brain in a vat, and it could go even deeper than that. It's like surface level thinking and that sort of thing. You know, maybe you're actually in a painting and it's a painted world and the thermometer actually isn't reading anything objective. That sort of thing. Yeah, I think that's interesting, but I don't really think it's very productive. But that's why when I say objectivity does exist, of course it exists in that space. But when you get into the realm of opinion, there is no ruler for whether the video game is good or not. That's why it is an opinion. You know, it just doesn't exist. If it does exist, then it would be really easy to demonstrate, right? Can we get some misogyny here too, so you can really make anyone who's tuning in just now think that you're just the worst? I don't know if I could do off-the-cuff misogyny. Thank you, Azunis, for 12 months. Thank you for an great year of streams. Thank you very much for the 1 year resub. Azunis, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy Midaphor. For all those who celebrate, which is not our community, apparently. We're all gonna hate it together. It's gonna be great. I'm excited for Contrarian Joe to be so over chat saying Midaphor, you decide to like that as spite. Oh, that's what you're all doing! Alright. Will you stream Fable? I don't have any plans to stream Fable. It'd be interesting to do that at some point.
A 50-year-old package. Hope the rats haven't eaten it.
Would you stream it together with Molyneux if he offered? I wouldn't trust that Molyneux would follow through with coming on the stream if he said he was going to. Would you stream a David Cage game with David Cage beside you? Yes, but only for chat, because I think it would be unbelievably awkward in a way that would make it a unique viewing experience. I don't even know if it would be funny, but I think it would be... I couldn't pass it up just for the bit. I would be so uncomfortable. I would actually get a camera. What about Jonathan Blow? I think if Jonathan Blow and I were in the same room, our combined pretentiousness would create the singularity. So for the good of humanity, we should probably not do that. What about Todd and some Bethesda game? What are we doing right now? Where is this line of questioning leading? I'm uncomfortable. Apples? Apples? I'd hang out with Todd. Todd seems pretty cool. Yeah, sure, why not? What about Kojima? And have a misogyny off with him? Like, what are you talking about? No. Who would you get a non-alcoholic optional drink with? Kojima or Yoko Taro? Well, if it's with Yoko Taro, he's just going to be mad the whole time that it's not about drinking. Or no, it was the composer, wasn't it? Sorry, I've forgotten the story now. Probably Kojima, because I feel like I would have more questions to ask Kojima because I've played more of Kojima's games, but Yoko Taro would be interesting as well. A drinking game with the Jedi Survivor devs, every time you break a game, all of you drink a shot? No, they get to drink the shot. I have to stay sober.
I'm listening.
No joke, I heard the "did you know he was a social worker" line at a bar. People at a bar you were at were talking about Ryukishi and Umineko. When are we playing the Chaos game? Probably when we lock in a date for Fire Emblem Three Houses. We will delay it for the Chaos game, yeah. Has the Chaos game wait been longer than Three Houses, Lamio? Well, that hasn't been locked in, I don't think. It's just like, yeah, we'd like to play that. Maybe, I don't know. Was the Chaos game announced before we did the voting game? We shouldn't even be streaming Three Houses, by the way. The audacity of that fan base to think that they're owed a game after they fumbled the ball so hard during the voted game. Everyone hated that voting group. Joe owes the voting game. I'm too tired to explain what the voting game was. It was a big event on Discord where we locked in a bunch of games to play via voting. There we go. I can't give you the longer version. It was crazy. 100 bits play Geometry Dash? All right, lock it in. MB this Saturday? What's MB? My butt? I will not be playing your butt on Saturday, no. Sunday? We'll talk on Sunday, sure. What an odd choice. Go through the dungeon a first time to get materials to repair a sword, and then he's like, I want you to use the sword to kill a robot now. Go through the same dungeon again. Huh. Is it a budget thing? If we want to get in character, we should really be repeating the Tolkien conversation right now as we're going through here again. But that would be really meandering and redundant, so the Tolkien fans would like it too much. No, I've become Oppenheimer, destroyer of worlds. I'm Oppenhenry now. All right, +2 from me. That was funny.
Yeah.
My favorite one was someone said yesterday, I'm doing top 10s now. I'm top 10-ry. Henry is the best bit. It's the worst bit. It's such a stupid fucking bit. It's just the same thing every time. And yet you claim Cookie Monster is funny for the same reason. Cookie Monster is an all-time American classic. Henry doesn't hold a candle to it. Okay, is the next conversation a good place to stop, or should we stop now? But fuck it, we'll just go to the next conversation. Okay, are we done? The best crackle. No, what the fuck is going on? Okay, well, stream's over. I'm Crackle Ed now. I'm Crackle Henry. Fucking hell. Stole my joke. I'm reading your joke. I wasn't stealing it. I was reading it from chat. Crackle Henry. Ah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have a good weekend. And yeah, we'll be starting Midaphor soon. I'm looking forward to it. Gatsby loves you.